Let's talk toys.
What's up, all you DC Multiverse loving dudes and dudettes? ToyShiz here, and I got a really rockin' fresh look for you guys today. We are totally going to be checking out the brand new DC Multiverse Collect and Connect Killer Croc wave, the actual Killer Croc figure himself. He's this massive figure by Mattel, and thank you again to Mattel for sending over the remaining figures I needed to build this sucker. He's all big and scaly and monstrous, and he's a pretty tall looking figure. I posted a photo last night of the complete wave, and he's tall, and I like that he is so massive. Killer Croc, in a comic book form, should be a big, massive dude. I think it fits his character a little bit better. He might be on the verge of being maybe a little bit too tall, but for the sake of just being like, it's Killer Croc, go with it. I think he's a really cool looking figure. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, wait a minute, hey, what are you saying? Why is this the last wave of the DC Multiverse? Well, as we all know, the line is on its last legs. This is the last wave, and the DC license will be going to McFarlane Toys for the boys action figures, let's say, 6, 7, 8, and whatever they're going to be doing. It's really up in the air. All we do actually know at this point is that McFarlane was quoted as saying at San Diego Comic-Con that they will walk before they run and do not expect anything until fall of next year. So maybe we'll see some reveals, maybe going into New York Toy Fair and then Comic-Con, and then expect some toys in the fall of next year. And that's all hearsay. That's all fingers crossed. So hopefully we see something soon. But in the meantime, we're going to be talking about this really rockin' final Collect and Connect figure, this Croc. He's huge, he's giant, he's a bulky son of a gun, and that's how I like my Killer Croc figures. He's the comic book equivalent. He grows in size. Sometimes he's got a tail. It all depends on who's drawing him. But I really think that they did a fantastic job, even though they used some King Shark Collect and Connect figure parts, which, by the way, I still don't have. I believe it's an arm and a leg for my King Shark. So this is me fingers crossed. Please, for whatever reason, just a whole bunch of old backlog Multiverse somewhere, somehow, some way just hits TJ Maxx and Ross and everything else. But that's my hopes and dreams, man. That's of all the things in life right now, I'm really hoping for a few extra pieces for my King Shark wave. What is life anymore? But let's go ahead, because he doesn't really have anything to be taken out of. Let's look at him all up close. This is the final wave, the Killer Croc Collect and Connect figure by Mattel, the actual Killer Croc figure. Right off the bat, you're going to see just all the scales and the details going on this guy. He's got a really nice head portrait to him. He's got some really cool red eyes. The teeth are painted nicely. He looks monstrous. He doesn't look angry, and I think that's maybe one of the things I would have liked to have seen, a more like, he's going to get you, but it does help that you can put the jaw down. You can move it around and make him, like he's going after you and stuff. So in certain positions, it kind of looks like he's going all Killer Croc on you, but he does kind of have a more like neutral kind of thing. Like, what I mean? Like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm here. Killer Croc. What's going on? Waylon Jones. Anyways, as you can see, going down the line, all the different details and scales on him. And then, of course, yes, right here is where he starts to share some of the original King Shark. And you can see that clearly evident by the fact that it says 2016 right there on his old croc butt. So not a bad thing, and it works. It might be that his arms are a little bit too long for the body, but in a weird way, I think it kind of helps his comic book proportions. It's not something that really bothers me, but I do see it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's there, but I can kind of deal with it. He's just got a massive upper body, and he kind of has the Mattel Jurassic Park sort of thing going, where he's got these massive feet. And it works. It keeps him very steady. He's not going anywhere. Like all the sculpted details that he's got going on the bottom of his feet, I think it really adds to, not only is this being like a giant Build-A-Figure, and I think a certain Marvel Legends type company could kind of learn from this, make a giant sort of character, know what I mean? But it's one of those figures where you can see all the love and the attention to detail that they put into this guy. He's got like the Thing, level kind of divots and scales and everything else going on. And it's not painted on, it's not everything, but he's got a nice wash to him, nice green. The eyes are painted yellow. They've got red pupils. His teeth are painted nice. Mine, of course, has a little bit of a red droplet right there of paint, but it kind of also looks like, maybe he got punched or it's blood or something like that. He can open his mouth really wide. I'm definitely digging that. The teeth almost makes him look kind of zombie-ish too. You get a lot of that Walking Dead imagery these days, and I think that kind of adds to what I'm kind of thinking, but it does and it doesn't. But he's got a nice head portrait. I'm really just liking all the details. I like his tattered pants. It works. It works well. I'm happy with this figure, especially and I'll show you, posing him up next to Batman, just how he towers over Batman, I think is really cool. So in the articulation category, you will get a lot of motion out of his head. He looks up, you can get the jaw all the way down like that. You can get him to the side. He does do a little bit of a gappage thing, of course, but goes every which way. And I really like that he can look all the way down, because that means he can look down at Batman, Robin, anyone that you want to do in that sense. He's got rotation at the shoulders, and it's on a ball, and it works really well. Nothing is stiff. Nothing is like you're worried about it popping out, so that's good. He's got bicep, single jointed, and he's got some nice swivel to his wrists, and they do go back and forth, which let me show you on this one, I guess. It does go back and forth. I just got done saying nothing's stiff. That one definitely is. He does have an ab crunch. You can put him all the way forward. You can get him going back as well, and it does click a little bit going back, so that's kind of odd. So you just kind of have to force it a bit. He does have waist. He does also have these T-joints. That I think is the main bummer if I have to pick it out. It's that old-fashioned type of articulation where it looks good going that way, right? Going out, that's so much. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. This is the last of it. So just roll with the punches at this point. He's got a thigh swivel, he's got a single jointed knee, and then he also has some pivot in the feet, and it will rotate off to the side. So he does have some pretty good articulation. You could get him into a lot of cool poses, animalistic poses, everything else that Croc is known for, but I particularly love that he can look down. You can have Jason Todd look it up and be like, oh shoot. So in that sense, I really like this Killer Croc figure. Here's Killer Croc lined up with the rest of the most recent DC Multiverse Collect and Connect figures, and you can see he is giant. He's massive. He's a big hulking Collect and Connect figure, and that's how I like them, man. I like these big, bulky figures. You're going to throw in an extra Build-A-Figure, Collect and Connect figure, whatever you'd like to call them, but they better be huge. And while Lobo is an okay figure, and I absolutely love the Batman Ninja, both really good Collect and Connect figures for the most part. I mean, the Collect and Connect for the Batman Ninja should have been the Joker King from the particular Batman Ninja movie. However, you give me something like giant like that, I think that makes the Collect and Connect figure stand out. It's like the Clayface. The Batbot, they really just nailed it. Mattel always did a fantastic job with their giant Collect and Connect figures. While their figures itself, the singles, I'll admit, were hit and miss sometimes. Most recently, I think they've been really nailing it. But the Collect and Connect figure was always a just masterpiece of art. That's going to do it for my fresh look at the last of the DC Multiverse Mattel Collect and Connect figures, the Killer Croc figure itself. But I still have 3 figures left to review from this wave. You have the Red Hood, you got the Dick Grayson Batman, and then you have Katana. So let me know which one you guys want me to do next. There's certain elements to the figures that are good and bad and make you go like, oh, come on. But all in all, I think Mattel, they had a good run. They had years and years of making DC figures. And while recently, we'll say with the DC movies, that's when it started to kind of show, So honestly, I would say err more towards Warner Brothers and everything else going on behind the scenes, whereas you have tons of amazing figures over the years. So don't judge them purely on when things went sour. Judge them on the entirety of it. Was there more good than bad? And I would say a whole heck yes. We got so many wonderful figures out of it that now with this final wave, I think they showed what they could have done, and it's sad to see them go, but that's what it is, and who knows? We never know what will happen in the future. We'll have to see what happens when the other companies tackle it. and we'll just go from there. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. Will you be picking up this Killer Croc wave? Will you just be getting the Killer Croc Collect and Connect figure? Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything Batman's Rogues Gallery. What's your favorite Batman villain? I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, in Batman the Animated Series, Croc was just a regular wrestler dude. He had gray skin. He was the strength of a crocodile and all that, but yeah, he never had all that going on. So when I saw that in comic book form, I was blown away. I was like, whoa, that's a real crocodile, man. I didn't know if I liked it, but I definitely like this Collect and Connect figure. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.